We worked on our attitudes, we felt good about being a loser, we had goals, vision boards, I mean, we had it all. And we did all the personal development. And it made us better people. But it didn't make us money. In order to make money, you're going to need some hardcore skills. And I did not know this. So the mistake I made is I did all the personal development stuff. You know, I had visionary goals and mission statements and read books and leadership courses, and we had mastermind groups, and we all became better people, and goodness knows I needed that a lot. But that won't make you any money. You need hardcore skills to make money. So what I tell people is, if you're doing personal development, please continue. It's awesome. It makes the world a better place, and us better people. But if you're doing it with the hopes of it turning into money, that might be a bad plan. So let me give you an example. Do y'all have skills at work on your job? Because if you don't, they fire you. So I had skills like to be an engineer. You know, if you needed a bridge, I'm your guy. But I decided that engineering wasn't going to quite do it, because they only give you a couple weeks off a year, and they expect you to show up every week for like several days, and they won't actually want you to work while you're there. You know, I could see where this is going to interfere with my life. So what I chose is a different profession. So I chose a brand new profession, network marketing. And see if this sounds like the definition of an idiot. I chose that new profession, but I didn't learn the skills of the new profession. I just took my engineering skills over. How many people now understand why I had a year and 10 months of total absence? Engineers should not be let out in public. So that was the situation. So if you're here today, you probably had sales skills, or political skills, or taxi cab driving skills, or circus performance. I don't know what you do. But you can't take those skills into this profession and make money. It just makes it so hard that you just have to find a lucky acorn, you know, once every decade or something. So here's an example of skills over attitude. Tomorrow you change professions. You're going to be a bomb demolition expert. So you sit down tomorrow, red wire, green wire. Have a pretty good attitude about this. Have a vision board. Have goals. How are we doing? Do you think we need skills? Absolutely. So the more skills we have, the better. And when I started, guess how many of the 25 basic skills I had? None. I didn't even know we needed skills. If I knew the 25 skills, I wouldn't even know how to do it. So the first 17 skills are how to talk to people commercially. Once you learn about commercial talk, everything changes, because we're in a commercial business. And we learn social talk at school. We have no idea that this occurs. So I'm going to give you a little example of how that works tonight. But would y'all like to take just a little tiny test first? Sure. Just write down 4 things. Because in the limited time we have, people say, what can I do quick? There's 25 basic skills. I don't have time to learn them all tonight. You can learn them on your own, right? But tonight, I need to kind of get a grip of what's going on here. So if you were to take the process, you want to invite more people to get them down to the meetings to see the presentation, right? So, if you take the 25 and boil them down, the initial process of us building a team to get somebody in an organization boils down to 4 things. I'd like you to write them down. Number 1 would be presentation. Do they have to see a presentation? That'd be kind of interesting, wouldn't it? You all know what a presentation is, right? Mm-hmm. Number 2, closing, right? That's right. Unless you close, how much you get paid? Nothing. Right, so closing would be a definite skill, one of the 4. Icebreakers. Somewhere in the conversation, you're going to have to bring your business into a social conversation, right? It's kind of hard to say, hi, how are you? How you doing? Want to be a rep? So an icebreaker is where you introduce it into the conversation so your friends and relatives don't make fun of you, tease you, etc., correct? So you got to introduce it in the conversation, in the social talk. Yeah, number 4 is rapport. Who here could define the word rapport? Relationship, yeah.
Empathy.
Empathy. we're all kind of on the same page. Rapport means, you know, they trust you, they believe you, you're comfortable.
They understand you.
They understand you,
You
yeah.
understand them.
All right. So, you wrote down those 4 things?
Yeah.
What do we have? Presentation,
Closing, icebreaker, rapport.
All right, so those are 4 basic things that have to occur. Now I'm going to ask you to write them down again, but put them in chronological order. Which one you do first, which one you do second, which one you do third, and which one you do fourth. So write it down. Mm-hmm. Now lean over to the person next to you and see if their list matches yours.
Followed by icebreaker, rapport, presentation, icebreaker first.
All right, do y'all have a chance to look? Did everybody's list match?
No.
No. Now observe. You're all in the same business, right? Same profession, and it doesn't match. Is that a clue that we have no idea where we're going? We don't even know if it comes first, second, third, or fourth. And why are we working so hard running down the wrong direction if we don't even know if it's the right direction? Strange, isn't it? So everybody's still okay? At any point we can turn around and talk, just say worship the brochure and everything will work out. I'm not here to make any enemies, okay? But is everybody okay if we keep going down this path? Because at some point we'll have to suck it up and say, I can't do the business at this level, I need to jump up here. There's just no way that I can get what I need doing it like this. So y'all okay with that?
Yeah.
At any point, like I say, at any point I'm too direct, just say, hey, you know, let's just say worship the brochure and show a slide and we'll feel good. But this is our money, isn't it? So, they don't match. Would you like to know what order they go in?
Yeah.
Or would you like to continue working really, really hard, having them in the wrong order, and continually sabotaging yourself over and over again? Kind of bad, wouldn't it? So let's do that tonight. We'll put them in order, and I'm going to show you something that's kind of cool that you're going to say, wow. We'll do a high-level ninja skill. So number 1, the very first thing is rapport. The deal is with rapport, if they don't trust you, are they ever going to join you? No. If they don't like you, are they ever going to buy from you? No. So unless they like you and trust you, that total connection, you're toast, dead meat, roadkill, the whole thing's over, by the way. It's done. So the very first thing we have to do is create rapport. Now, normally, well, we'll do this real quick. Y'all sit next to somebody, they're going to be your partner. We'll just do something real quick here. The person next to you is going to be your partner. They're going to be your sponsor. Who's going to be the sponsor here? The other person, just ask your sponsor, hey, I understand that you're here to help me. I understand that the company's going to give me information, right? The company's going to give me information, but you've got to give me the skills to get that information inside their head. And I don't know how to get my information past their salesman alarm, their bad experiences, their dysfunctional programs, past their prejudices, past their too good to be true filter, past it's a pyramid thing, past what's the catch thing. Are we all on the same page on this? How many people here felt your information hit that wall? The company will give you great information, but your sponsor has to give you the skills to manipulate your information past all of that jungle so it gets inside their head. So here's what you're going to do. You're just going to ask your sponsor this basic little question. You say, hey, I understand I got to get instant rapport, and you promise to help me. You're my sponsor. So please give me 3 or 4 quick ways to build instant and immediate rapport within the first few seconds. So y'all ready? Turn to your sponsor and have him give you 3 or 4 completely different ways of doing it. Let's begin.
Oh, Nick. Go and ask them. Huh? So?
Oh gosh, terrible day today.
Huh? Instant report, go on.
Instant report. I don't know what can I say. Yeah. How was your day?
Good.
Okay, that should have been quick. How'd that go? How many people here had a sponsor that said, yes, here's 3 or 4 quick little easy ones to start?
Yeah, he had that.
All right. And how many people here had a sponsor that says, I'm not telling you, I'm going to replace you in 6 months anyway? Or how many people had a sponsor that says, never did like you? Or a sponsor that said, if you find out, let me know. That's kind of ugly, isn't it? But that's the kind of sponsor I was. So, would you like to learn a couple quick ways so we can do something kind of cool at the end here? All right. We're not here to learn the rapport skill. That's farther on down the list, like number 5 or something on the list. So here's what we're going to learn. Just a simple way of creating instant rapport. How long do you have in the conversation before you can create rapport? Dave?
Immediate, isn't it?
30 seconds.
30 seconds?
No.
All right. How many people here think you got to create rapport pretty quick? All right. If I were to suggest 5 or 6 seconds, that would mean we have to be pretty specific what we do, right? Very quick. All right. So let's just do a little experiment here. Are y'all ready? Let's forget about rapport. Well, don't forget about rapport, but let's remember we've got to do an icebreaker too, right? And we got to close people, we got to do presentations, right? I'll just do a little experiment here. Derek mentioned something about 17 seconds, right? Now, one person in each partnership, raise your hand. The smart one, raise your hand. The other one will be the good-looking one. The smart one is going to be the sponsor. Now, I'm going to give you 17 seconds, and let's see what we can do as far as moving our business forward with our prospect in the first 17 seconds. Will that be okay? So y'all ready? I'm going to give you 17 seconds, begin.
You got a clue?
Come on.
He's got to tell us. I need to know the story.
Okay, that's good enough. Stop. How we do?
Great.
Rocket.
He's going to tell us.
Anybody sign up? How'd you feel about your first 17 seconds? Should we accomplish a little bit more than what we did just now? Now, I'll tell you about commercial talk. You may not have been exposed to it yet, but advertisers, they stress. They get 15 seconds and they get you to buy something in 15 seconds on TV, don't they? And they feel lucky if they can hold your attention for 15 seconds. 30 seconds is like unbelievable. They said, if we could hold somebody's attention 30 seconds, we're like, you know, we have ninja-like powers. But yet, us as network marketers feel that we somehow have the ability, by being totally untrained and stupid, that we can hold people's attention for a 30-minute meeting. Isn't that kind of pompous? Yeah. So let's take a look at what happens with rapport. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about salespeople. Salespeople are taught how to create rapport. Is that true? They have an FORM formula. F stands talking to them about their family. O stands talking about their occupation. R stands talking about
Recreation.
M?
Message.
Okay. So,
Can you just repeat that, please?
It doesn't matter, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
The deal is, if you only get 5 seconds, how many questions can you ask about somebody's family in 5 seconds? You probably never get to the O, would you? No. Right there. So what I'm mentioning is, in today's world, it looks like somebody drank a beer and wrote a book.
Okay.
Because it doesn't work, does it? There's no possible way you could do this in the 5 seconds you have to create rapport. So you have to have a specific strategy of exactly what to say or do to create rapport instantly. So would you like to learn a couple quick strategies very quick? Let me tell you about how the human mind judges and creates rapport. Do you ever wonder why some people trust you and some people don't? So here's how people normally try to get folks to create rapport. They become honest. Here's a plan. Have integrity. Have people's best interests at heart. They're sincere. And if you use those 4 things, honesty, integrity, have people's best interests at heart, and sincerity, you will starve. They don't work. They don't create rapport. And you know that to be true because you've done that, haven't you? How many people have been honest with prospects? Have their best interests at heart, have integrity, we're sincere, and they said no. Is that true? Yeah. So if you're trying to use any of those 4 things to create rapport, stop. It's a bad plan. It doesn't work. You know this. And let me prove it to you, just so you don't think I'm weird or from another country. How many people here, here in England, do you have something called a con man?
Oh,
Yes. Con man? All right, we call them politicians in the U.S. But you know what a con man is, right?
Yeah.
They're the ones that sell you all these stupid investments that just rip off. Sorry. Now I'm going to ask you about con men. Are con men honest?
No.
Do they have integrity?
No.
Do they have your best interest at heart? No. And they're certainly not sincere. But yet con men have the skill to get honest, hardworking people to trust them and believe them within seconds and give them their hard-earned money. Is that true?
Yes.
So wouldn't it occur to you and I that maybe con men have specific skills that they are using? And could we use these skills for our business?
Yep.
Now these skills could be used for good or evil. What are we going to use them for?
Good.
Yeah, a little both. Okay. Now, are we ready? Is everybody on the same page? Trust and rapport has nothing to do with you being a good person. Don't blame me. I don't cause it. I'm just reporting. All right? So one of the first techniques con men do, and one of the easiest ways of creating rapport, is to pick one fact in the known universe that you and your prospect can agree upon. Now, how this works, I can't explain it tonight because we haven't even started on programs yet. But the human mind looks for sameness. It says, if you see the world from the same viewpoint I do, I can believe what you say, I can trust what you say, and I'll make the same conclusions you do, so just go on. So, an example of that would be if I were to say the Tory party, here in England. If you're a member of the Tory party, and somebody from the Tory party speaks, you say they see the world the same way I do, I can trust what they say, fine. But if you're a member of, what's the other one, the Liberals?
Labour.
Labor? If you're a member of Labor, from the moment the person said they're the Tory party, what happened? Skepticism, walls go up, no belief, be careful, too good to be true, don't believe a word they say. And everything they say go into that file and nothing ever comes out. So what the human mind looks for is sameness. And that's why if you go to China and there's 1 billion Chinese standing around you, and you meet somebody from England, there's budge. Instant rapport, because they are more like you than the 1 billion people around you. So one of the first things the human mind looks for is sameness. That's why I like people of the same ethnic background, the same political background, the same religious background, like the same brand of beer, the same sports team, the same hobbies. We like people who are more like us than not like us. Does that make sense?
Sure.
I did not know this, so what I did originally was point out our differences. I'd go up to people and say, hey, you have a stupid job, I got this great business. We see the problem. And that's what happens. Rapport is lost essentially because they say, you see the world different than I do. You believe in business. I don't believe in business. I've never been in business. You know, this is too scary for me. We lose all rapport instantly. So if you were to pick a fact that they would agree, you would signal to them that you and them think the same, see the world the same viewpoint. Now, you know this naturally to be true. Let me show you why. When you meet a stranger, to start a conversation, to have some rapport, you pick a fact that's very, very safe. Something like, hey, nice day we're having today. Right? Pretty safe. So you can both agree upon that fact. You don't start off by saying, hey, how about them Tories? Do we see the problem? That's pretty risky, isn't it? To create rapport, we try to pick one fact that they and us can agree upon. Pretty simple, isn't it? So if you pick that fact, here's what's going to happen. They say, oh, you see the world the same way I do. You must be a genius, just like me. Join at the hip, Vulcan mind melt, blood brother, blood sister. Just like that. So would you like to see how it works?
Yeah.
Right? What if you said something to somebody like, man, jobs really interfere with our week? What would they be thinking? Yeah. Or commuting is so hard. Yeah. Or we all need more time with our family. You got that right. Man, electric bills, they just keep raising rates everywhere. Oh, you're right about that. We never get enough time for holiday. Oh, that's true. You know, they don't pay us enough to do what we want. Oh, yeah, yeah. Things are so expensive nowadays. Ah, yeah. It'd be great to work out of our home. Oh, yeah, yeah. Being our own boss would certainly be better than slaving away for somebody. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. How we doing? By picking one fact in the known universe and saying it first, instant rapport. So I'm going to ask you to turn to your partner. You're going to pick one fact that you can say to your partner that both you and your partner agree upon. Do not choose this fact because they may not agree. You choose to turn to them and say, hey, hey, I'm a lot smarter than you. They may not agree with that, right? Wouldn't build rapport. So turn to your partner right now and tell them one fact, like, oh, our butts hurt from sitting here so long already, or the speakers are, you know, just some fact that they're going to agree upon. Everybody ready? Turn to your partner and just tell them one fact.
Far away.
It'd be great if we could have sunny weather here like we do in Spain, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I wouldn't like to be in New York at the moment, though.
No.
Was that easy?
Terrible weather.
Yeah. Take it up a level.
That's right.
Ready?
Makes sense to
You
me.
and I are not some amateur hacks. You and I are pros, right? So what we're going to do is tell them two facts, and we'll put them into a deep hypnotic trance. So all I have to do is tell them two facts, something like, you know, jobs interfere with our week, and commuting just waste our time. Oh, blood brother, blood sister, just like that. Or, you know, the big companies just keep raising electric rates, and there's no reason to do that. Oh, you're right. Or, we all like to be our own boss because we like to have a lot more time in our life. Oh, yeah. Could y'all think of two facts you can tell your partner right now? Turn to your partner and tell them two facts. Let's begin.
Right. You tell me now. Tell me two facts.
You can never get
Can I what?
buses when you want them.
Two facts. Two facts. You're supposed to follow up.
You know, I've been waiting here for half an hour.
Yeah, right.
Never mind.
All right, do y'all have two facts? Yeah. Was that easy? Yeah. So you sit down with somebody, don't pick the differences, pick the sameness. Here's the second way of creating this immediate rapport. Yes. Would you like to know?
Yes, sir.
All right. The second way to create instant and immediate rapport is take a look at this young man. Now, why do you think he might trust you? Why? How does a person his age know who to trust? They look at a person, and if that person what? Smiles.
Smiling.
So all you have to do, if you wanted somebody to trust you, was start with a big smile.
Smiles.
Now, will a smile guarantee trust? No, no, no. But a frown will guarantee that you're probably going to fail. So turn to your partner right now and give him your biggest, broadest Cheshire cat grin. Just think of it.
It's not hard.
Smile.
Say,
It's
You
not.
mean it to
It's
to
not
work.
hard.
all right. So a second way to create rapport is to remind your
You got to
distributor
smile at
to
people
smile.
to build rapport.
But it's a third way we're going to use tonight. We're going to use a sequence.
That's not a smile, that's a frown.
Now, the sequence of words we're going to use
Sweetie.
tonight is one that's going to solve a problem that your distributors have instantly. You leave here tonight, pay for petrol, you stand in line to pay for petrol, the person in front of you looks pretty sharp. Say, oh, man, they could be good. It'd be awesome for my kids. I don't know them, I don't have anything in common, never met them before. Maybe they're having kind of a bad day, but you know, I want to talk to them about the business. And you just can't walk up to them and go, so you're thinking, how do I talk to this person? I don't want to get rejected. I have nothing in common. Don't want them to say no. I don't want to look like an idiot. What can I say? Now, if you've been in the business for a while, you know there's certain specific skills we learn. One of them is when somebody gets started, they're going to say, I meet all these people, but I'm afraid to talk to because I don't know what to say. They might give me rejection. They don't know. We have nothing in common. I can't talk to them, therefore they don't talk to anybody. But there is a 4-word sequence. Actually, there's several of these. We'll only pick one tonight. There's a 4-word sequence that you can say that will disable the sales alarm, turn off all rejection, make them open up their heart, answer any question you give them, totally bond with him, Vulcan mind meld, blood brother, blood sister, just like that. And the only reason we don't use these 4 words is why?
We're afraid?
Yeah.
We don't know.
We don't.
But we can learn, right?
True.
So could we write them down? All right. So what we're going to learn is 4 words because is this true? Will the distributor come up to you and say, I don't know what to say to these people? Or I'm afraid they might tell me no. So I'm just curious, how many people here would love to find these 4 words that gets people to love you right away? So I'm just curious, if I give you these 4 words, would you use it every chance you had tomorrow?
Yeah.
Open up a whole kind of new conversation. So I'm just curious, how many people like to learn these words right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, everybody have paper to write them down?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, how many more times am I going to have to say, I'm just curious, before we write them down?
I'm just.
Now, it's a stupid program. But the program says this, if anybody anywhere, at any time ever says, I am just curious, open up your heart, turn off the rejection alarm, tell them anything they want, feel bonded instantly because they said, I am just curious. Question. Is that weird? I'm just curious, how many people here would like to have an example?
Yes.
All right, I'll try this. I leave here, in the hallway I meet the security guard. Do I know the security guard? He's from another country. Do I have anything in common with the security guard? No, don't really know much about it. So I walk up to the security guard, I might say something like this, to start the conversation and build rapport, get the conversation going in the right direction, I would start off by saying, I'm just curious, do you enjoy working evenings? I'm just curious, is this a good paying job? I'm just curious, is this a fun career? I'm just curious, can you pick the hours you want? I'm just curious, can you pick the days you want? I'm just curious, is this the job you always wanted in high school? I'm just curious if you ever thought about being your own boss. I'm just curious if you'd like to have more time with your family. I'm just curious if you'd like to make a lot more. How am I doing? Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Instant rapport. They have no idea why, but I use a word sequence. I am just curious to make it happen. So I'm just curious. How many people here can think of an I'm just curious that you could tell your partner right now? So turn to your partner right now and just say, I'm just curious. Would you like to go first? If you couldn't think of anything to say, right? Give it a try. Let's begin.
I'm just curious, Ronak. No, I don't know you, do I? I'm just curious. Would you like to earn an extra income in your spare time?
Sure. How? Okay. I'm just. I'm just curious. Have you ever thought of setting up in business?
No, but it's an interesting idea.
Okay, how we doing?
Very good.
Now, what I'm going to propose to you tonight is we're just going to learn what to say and do. And we're not even going to do a very good job because we won't even get to the first skill, but we'll have an understanding of what's going on, and so we can start fixing stuff. So, how are we doing on the icebreaker thing? Are we okay with that? Mm-hmm. So, we're just going to use tonight, I am just curious. That's all we need. There's several more that we could use, but no time tonight. Because we want to move on to the second step, right? Which is icebreaker. First one was rapport, number 2 was icebreaker. Now, icebreakers where you introduce your conversation, you introduce your business into it. You know, you just can't talk about their children forever. So, how are we going to do that? Now, I'm going to ask you a question. When you talk to a prospect, at what point of the conversation do they stop listening? From the moment we move our lips. From the moment we move our lips, how many thoughts can they have at one time? And trust me, it's not our thought. From the moment you and I move their lips, here's what's going through their mind. Not what we're saying. That's why they don't join, because they're not even hearing us. When we move our lips, they're thinking, oh no, a salesman. I let a salesman, I gave an appointment to a salesman. What was I thinking? Salesmen, you know, always high pressure and talking. They make you buy stuff that you don't want or buy stuff you don't need. They're going to hang around forever, kind of be really, really pushy. If you don't buy, they're going to harass you for 52 more weeks every time on the telephone. You can't even leave the house. You're being stalked by them all the time. And, you know, it's always too good to be true. These people lie to you, you know. And there's always a catch. Got to watch for the catch, watch for the catch. And I don't even have any money for whatever they're trying to sell me because, you know, I can't even pay the MasterCard bill tomorrow. And we'll survive at 13, got a 5 on 14. Well, the children call me getting home, and they're gone. From the moment we move our lips, that's the conversation they have. Does that sound vaguely familiar?
Mm-hmm.
And so, if they are thinking about something else, what's your odds here? What's your chance?
Zip.
0. So the very first thing we're going to have to do, if we're going to break the ice, is we're going to tell them something, right? But we have to make sure they're listening. So what we're going to have to do is to freeze their mind. Take total iron-fisted control of their mind. Freeze it. Bring it to a screeching halt. Make them forget whatever they're thinking about. And totally focus on what we're about to say next, like a puppy dog trying to get in the house. Seems reasonable? Because why should we talk if nobody's home? Does anybody have that experience? All right. So what we're going to do is take iron grip, control their mind. Now, if taking control of a person's mind bothers you here tonight, let me point out they're not using their mind and they're doing a much better job. All right? So, how many people here believe it's possible to take total control of another person's mind, freeze it, bring it to a screeching halt, make them forget whatever they're thinking about, totally focus on what you're about to say? How many people here believe that it's possible to do? Now, we don't have to be a guru or psychologist or levitator to pull this off. That's the good news. We can actually do it with words. Now, there's several 9-word combinations that you can use to take total control of their mind. You don't have to be a guru or anything. How cool is that? But we don't have much time tonight, so we better pick something shorter, right? What I'm going to say is, how about a 4-word combination? How many people here would like to have the ability to take control of another person's mind with 4 words? Freeze it, stop it, so they hear what you're saying. If they're not hearing, you're toast. Do you believe that's possible? And the only reason we're not using these 4 words is?
We don't know.
You don't know.
But we could learn, right? I mean, we learn to drive a car, learn to play a sport. We could learn 4 words to freeze people's minds. And this is what people don't get. They're so busy doing information, oral diarrhea thing, and people are already tuned them out. Now, about these 4 words. I just found out just found out. Now, if you say I just found out, what happens to the other person's mind?
I'm waiting to hear what you found out.
Right. So technically what has happened is that a text or survival program, this is important for my survival, forget everything else, stop, let's listen to what it is. Number two, a text or curiosity program, which is what is, what'd you find out? You know what you find out. They really have no chance. Not at all. Because that part of the mind is totally reactive, they can't even control it, they have no chance. This is almost unfair. But when you say, I just found out, you'll freeze their mind almost instantly. So let's do this. We're going to introduce a benefit after that, because we're not some amateurs here, we're pros. What we're going to do is introduce a benefit so they beg us for a presentation. Now, would you like to try to get appointments with people, or would you rather have people beg you for presentations?
Big presentation.
Now, I have a rule that I will never give a presentation to anybody unless they beg me first. Now, before you think I'm going to start, I just learned how to get people to beg. Make sense? So, tell me what word comes next when I say these sequences. Are you ready? All right. I just found out how we can get an extra paycheck every month. What's the next word in their mind?
How?
Asking me for a presentation, rejection free. I just found out how we can fire the boss. Next word?
How?
Asking me for a presentation, rejection free. I just found out how we can stay home with their children and still get a full-time paycheck. How? Asking me for presentation, rejection free. I just found out how we can retire 10 years early at full pay. How? Asking me for presentation, rejection free. I was with this group of old people, I mean they're really old. And I said, so what'd you guys say to keep all the young people away? Well, they got mad. And I said, come on, you kept them all away. What'd you say to them? They said, well, we said they could retire 10 years early at full pay. I said, they're university students, that's like the year 2100 or something, they don't care. I said, if you wanted young people, how many people here liked a bunch of university people with a lot of energy on your team?
Yeah.
Why not just say this? I just found out how you don't have to work 45 years like your parents. What's the next word from them?
How?
This is not rocket surgery. I just found out how we can work 3 weeks out of the month, get paid for 4. How? I just found out how we take a 1-week holiday every month. How? I just found out how we take a 6-month holiday twice a year. I just found out a lot of people here are slow at math. I just found out how we can make more money part-time than our husband does full-time. I just found out how we can, all right, how easy is this? So, if you want to break the ice and get people begging for a presentation, just say, I just found out. Now, could you say, I just found out, and you can save, what? Save money on your electric bill, right?
Get paid on your bills.
How much could you save on your electric bill if they kind of hang around you guys? A little bit? It'd be almost like getting a discount, wouldn't it? All right, so let's move on. Are we okay with icebreaker? Now, I just found out is the first icebreaker. There's about 100 different types. But I just found out we can do that for a day. I mean, it's so easy. We can learn the other 99 types at our leisure. But I just wanted you to know that an icebreaker comes next. Does that make sense logically to everybody's mind? All right. So, we had we had rapport first, icebreaker second. What comes number 3? So number 3 is actually closing. And this is where, I hope nobody's offended, but we go very, very wrong. Are you all okay to learn something new that's kind of will disrupt all your past beliefs? Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
But it will allow us to leave our fantasy world and go into the real world, what commercial talk people know. Are y'all ready? Yep. So here's the deal. The close happens before the presentation even starts. The problem is you and I have chosen a profession. Here's the profession we've chosen. We chose a profession to get people to make a decision. Is that true?
Yes.
But unfortunately, we have no idea how the human mind makes a decision. Is that true?
Yeah.
So we have a profession to get decisions. We have no idea how it works. Is anybody connecting the dots on this? That's kind of dysfunctional, isn't it? We have chosen a profession where we've got to get people to make a decision in the human mind. We have no idea what part of the human mind makes a decision, what triggers it, how it happens, how to manage it. What were we thinking? How crazy is that? And that's how stupid I was when I got started, because I didn't even know what I didn't know. So here's the deal. Would you like to learn a little bit of how the human mind makes a decision? I'll give you a brief glimpse, but you got to go a lot deeper than this. Now here's the deal. The human mind, I'll tell you two things very quick that will help you understand what we're going to do. First thing is the human mind makes the final decision based upon zero information. No information is ever used in a human making decision. No. Zero. Zip. Nada. No information is ever used in any human decision. How many people believe that one? All right, let me give you an example, because this is this will change what we do. We think that we have to give them a 5 or 10 or 30-minute information-rich presentation so they can make a decision. That's not true. No information is used. Let me prove it to you. How many people here would like to lose a little bit of weight? All right. Well, I should have raised your hand, but that's okay now. Just kidding. Let me tell you about us fat people. Us fat people got the information. We have brochures, CDs, DVDs, television shows, flip charts, giant diet pills, weight loss clinics all up and down the road. We've been lectured to, we've been preached to, it's on the internet, it's newspaper. Every fat person in the universe knows how to lose weight. Ask any fat person in the universe, how do you lose weight? They say two things. Number one is eat less food. And number two is?
Exercise more.
Every fat person got the information. So if people made decisions on information, there would be
No fat people.
So the first thing you need to do is train your mind. Every time you see a fat person, say this inside your head, not out loud. Say, people don't make decisions on information. And this will keep us from ever attempting to use any part of our presentation to help people make a decision, because that's just stupid. The presentation is later. We get them to make the yes decision they want to join or be a customer first. And then we do the presentation that supports the decision they've already made, or maybe it's their first training session if they're going to be a distributor. Oh, look at this business I'm in. It seems weird. I'm not asking you to accept it because I haven't explained how it triggers the mind, but let me give you another example, because I know you're thinking, oh, come on. How many people here have information about your business? You have brochures, CDs, DVDs, PowerPoint, flip chart, website, movies, testimonials, report. Right. Your prospects see the same information. So if prospects made decisions based upon information, they all see the same information. That would mean either all the prospects should join or none of the prospects join because they base their decision on information. But is that true?
No.
Some join,
Yes.
some don't, yet they see the exact same information. So wouldn't it occur to you that maybe people are making a decision on something other than information?